Live from Austin, Texas, it's the internet's favorite advice show.
Answering for a friend.
Now, here's your hosts, Clint Baker and Mia Harms.
Woo.
Hey!
From
Austin, Texas, it's the internet. What's happening, gang?
Clint, it's 8:02.
I know.
This
8:02.
is the earliest we've ever started. Ever.
What's up, gang? Thank you for tuning in. Welcome to another episode 23 of Answering for a Friend.
How is it episode 23? We just started this like a second ago.
Like last week.
I know.
It's so
I can't
weird.
believe it. Ugh. My neck looks good, huh?
Your neck looks fantastic. I almost posted a picture earlier. I had two different pictures that had pictures of her and I that I wanted to say, hey guys, come check out the show tonight. And I was like, Mia, which one of these do you like? The one with your hair up or the one with your hair down? And the one with the hair up had a super white neck. And it didn't even occur to me. She was like,
and my foundation, I pull it all the way down for this show. So I knew that my face was even. It was like the filter that was put on. But that's what you go to Hippie Hollow for.
Yeah, and so as a result, I'm getting her a neck tanner for Christmas.
A neck tanner,
Neck tanner.
Well, no, you got to go to Hippie Hollow. You can only tan your neck at Hippie Hollow. That's for those of you that don't know it. Hippie Hollow is a place that you can go be nude in Austin, tan nude.
I've been to Hippie Hollow, and
I love Hippie Hollow.
There's not really anybody that I want to see nude at Hippie Hollow. It's really weird.
Well, yeah, you don't go there because you want to see people nude. That's not the point.
I guess you go there because you want to be nude, not because you want to see nude.
Because you want to be nude, or, I mean, like, I don't love tan lines. I like to go out there and tan, but also it's like judgment-free. Nobody's messing with you. You can't be lewd. You can't be loud. And the cove is blocked off so far that, like, it's just calm lake water. And it's just like, I don't know. I feel like it's the closest thing to like getting to a calm beach that you can get to in Austin. And it's never packed if you go during the week.
Have you seen the movie Old yet?
No.
I'll never go on a calm beach again after that movie. It's a new movie.
Well, then I'm not going to see it because beaches are my favorite.
It's an M. Night Shyamalan movie. You know, you go on the beach and you can see dead people. You know how it goes. But
what a twist!
Yeah. So gang, who's in the comments? Somebody say hi to us. We had 5. Now we have 4. That was
we have 4. It's because I was talking about going to Hippie Hollow. I freaked him out.
Uh-oh. Hello, who's there?
It was probably my mom or my grandmother. She was like, "You do not go there."
Is that how your grandmother sounds?
No, she does not sound like that at all.
Hey gang, in the comments I'm putting right now, and I'm gonna, yeah. Let's see if we pop up. Okay, cool. I popped up. There we go. We got Valerie Cavett saying, "Hey Clint." Hey Valerie, how are you doing? Put your comment up on the screen. Awesome.
Hi Valerie.
Yeah. Would you I guess before we get going, before we jump into the real deal and if you've never tuned into our show before, what we do is we answer questions. Sometimes they're stupid questions, sometimes they're serious questions, and there are no stupid questions. So we're gonna answer all of them. So if you got any questions, you could throw them into the chat also, and we'll try and answer those too. Let's hear. Before we get started, guys, like, share, subscribe, click that notification bell, and tell your friends about the show. If you have fun, share this. So hopefully next week we can have even more people, and the next week even more people, and it just keeps going and going and going. It's the gift that keeps on giving. Just like Mia, just like her beautiful face and personality.
I'm sorry. What were you about to say?
It's the
Mia is the gift that keeps on giving.
Just like Mia's pretty face and sparkling personality is what I was saying.
I think, okay, let's...
I'm not trying to objectify you. I was going to throw the personality in first.
The gift that keeps on giving.
Yeah.
All right.
Well, let's yo, CB3 says, yo.
Hi, CB3.
Dave says, I am here.
Yeah, you are, Dave.
Yes.
Thanks for being here.
We're gonna have a fast food thing later, so I'm glad you're here.
Ooh.
CB3, yo. All right, well
CB3, yeah.
let's jump in. I'm gonna start with a fun one.
Yay, let's do
Let's
it.
do it fun. I started to get, we have some serious, intense things too, and I started to put that one first.
Really?
But I was like, let's start off on a fun foot. So,
Yeah. A fun foot. That's what I
yes,
always say.
if you saw the future and in 35 days a nuke was going to drop on your city, what would you realistically do? Asking for a friend. Tag, you're it, Mia. What would you do?
Okay, wait. You know I love hypothetical
Yeah,
situations,
I
right?
know.
They're kind of like my favorite thing ever. All right, so break this down for me. I find out
You find
that
out
in
you
35 days.
somehow you could see the future, and in
Okay.
35 days a nuke is going to drop on Austin.
Okay.
What would you realistically do?
Well,
Realistically.
I mean, okay,
There's a lot of good answers for this.
I think that I would want to get like people have to know so they can try to get out. Or is there no way to get out?
No, I mean, you could try to prevent it. You could just try to do all the fun things that you never got to do because you saw the future and there's no way out of it. Just because you saw it in the future doesn't mean you're gonna be in Austin. So yeah, you could just leave town, or you could just stay and and say I'm not.
I mean, how do you
There's a
not look
million.
like a crazy person being like, there's going to be a nuke, everyone, evacuate.
Dave says go to Dallas.
Go to Dallas.
Yeah, which is an
I
excellent answer. I would probably go to my mom's. First things first. But
Sorry, but there is no amount of nukes in this world that would get me to want to go to Dallas. So I would rather just go down with the ship here in Austin.
I went. I spent 3 weeks in Dallas one day. That's one of
You
my
spent
dad's old jokes.
I spent 3 weeks in
Yeah,
Dallas
that's
one
an El
day.
Paso joke. He's like, "Oh, El Paso. I spent 2 weeks there one day." That's my dad's old joke.
I
But yeah,
love it. Yeah,
get
so
it? It
okay, well,
sucks. So it feels like forever.
I would try to do the warn people and get them out, be like, all right, you guys, there's going to be this nuke. I don't know how to tell. And, I'm not going to make a big deal out of it, but I'm leaving town. You should too. Man, but then it would be like my duty to save the people. I don't know if I want to do it. This sounds like a job for someone that's not me.
Boo. Dave says boo. I don't know what that
Don't
means.
save the people. He doesn't want me to save the people. He wants me to go to Dallas.
Yeah, the weird things too is like if you what do? You call the government, say, "Hey, we're gonna get nuked," and then you sound like you're like some weird threat, like
Can you
propagating
put the
threats.
government? This sounds like a really bad blockbuster movie. Can you get the government on the phone? Who do you call?
I feel like Gerard Butler in this situation. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah, I don't really want to be the star of this movie. I kind of want to just be the girl on the beach that dies when her town gets nuked.
uh,
Don't make me have to save people.
yeah.
I don't know. What would you do? What would you do?
What would I do? I would first warn all the people and say, "Hey, be out of town on this day." Oh, boo for my dad joke that I spent 2 weeks
Oh.
there one day. Yeah, I would make sure and warn everyone and say you're gonna think I'm crazy, but but I'm warning you, and this is the best I could do. So just leave town
Yeah.
this day, and if I'm wrong, you can laugh at me for the rest of my life. And then I would go to my mom's. That's what I would do. I would go to my
Yeah.
mom's. I would also warn the authorities and all my friends and family and everyone I knew here. And I would grab all my guitars and camera and computer and sound equipment and pack up a truck. I would go to I'd probably go to Home Depot and get one of those $19 an hour, $19 a day trucks, because the Home Depot
I
would
was
blow up.
wondering where you were going with
Yeah,
that.
and load that up because it's the cheap truck to get, and then the
Yeah.
then that Home Depot would blow up. They would never know that I still had their truck, and I would drive that to my mom's.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think I would just be getting the stuff that I love, warning the people, getting the stuff that I love, and getting out of there. Because how much time are you going to spend warning the people? Like, you don't want to stick around for too long. Like, you don't want to be here for 34 days trying to warn the people and then get out. You want to be like, okay, people, this is what I know, and then you want to be out of there. I'll take my whole family to, like, I don't know. Sounds like a perfect time to get one of those credit cards with the flight rewards.
you, you
And
know, you know, also you might cause enough panic that people start you might get stuck in traffic. So I
that's what
think
I'm saying.
yeah, you
You
want to
don't
get out of
want
here.
to be here
Yeah, you want to
towards
get out
the end.
early.
You want to
I agree with you.
get out early.
Yeah, CB3 says there's Home Depot in Dallas. Yeah, I'm just saying if you get from a Home Depot, you get your truck from a Home Depot here, then if the Home Depot blows up, would they know that they wouldn't know if the truck was missing or not? Get it? It would be like everything would be destroyed there, so they would.
Yeah.
Yes, I agree. Dave says it might be good for Austin. It would lighten traffic up a little bit.
Yeah.
Oh boy.
I am into this. Let's
You like the
restart
hypotheticals?
Austin. Let's restart Austin.
I'm gonna go to sleep right now. See if I can do some fortune foretelling dreams. Well, let's jump to the next one and see what we got going. This one I found this question and I was like, I've had this before, so this one's a little more serious. For as long as I can remember, I randomly get a terrible guilty feeling. I've never done anything extremely wrong. Is this normal? Asking for a friend.
That's called anxiety.
Yeah, I've had it, but I feel like the other shoe's about to drop. You know what I mean? It's like something bad is gonna happen. I'll even call my mom and be like, "Hey, are you okay over there?
Yeah,
Everything cool?"
that's what
feel
I
like
do too.
Yeah,
Or someone's like cheating on you.
or something, or
Is that just a woman thing?
I think that's a woman thing.
It's like though that we always know. Like if we get that feeling,
Mm-hmm.
we know somebody's lying to us.
It's like a superpower.
It is a superpower. I'm serious. It's almost inevitable if I just randomly get that gut feeling that I find out something later. It's
Like, I knew it.
yeah.
Yeah, I'll get it just randomly. I'll be like you could be cleaning the kitchen or something, and then all of a sudden it's like, why do I feel like this? It's kind of creepy.
Oh, well, if you're cleaning the kitchen, that makes sense.
I shouldn't feel guilty if I'm cleaning the kitchen.
No,
I should feel guilty if I'm dirtying the kitchen.
yeah, we've been meaning to talk to you about that. Just kidding.
Phil says it's original sin.
Original sin.
Tongue sticking out face. I don't know how to describe that one. Then Dave says I've never felt guilty ever. They call that a sociopath. You psycho.
Yeah.
Let's see here. And I subconsciously recognize my white privilege. I'm only half white, so I only half acknowledge that. How about that?
CB3 says white guilt, and then he said you subconsciously recognize your white privilege. What? Yeah, I mean, we don't know the person that asked this question if they're white or not, but
let's see.
You just immediately feel guilty when you recognize your privilege.
Yeah. Well, I don't necessarily have like it can be anything. It's weird. It's for me when I have what I think this person's describing. They're calling it guilt. Mine isn't guilt. I just feel like impending doom.
Dread.
Dread. Yeah. And I'm like, oh shit. Like I'm about to be in trouble. Or something bad's about to happen. So. It is a weird feeling. I don't get that very much, but I have had it happen, and I do the mom call, which is weird. What were we gonna say?
Yeah, I do that too. Like I'll call I'll text people and be like, "Is everyone okay? I just got a weird feeling." But I will say it could be something is triggering that in you that you don't even realize.
Mm-hmm.
Like maybe one time you were shamed as a kid and you happen to be looking at a spoon sitting on the table. So you're not even realizing it, but one time you walked by a spoon and it just kind of triggered a little thing in you, but there's no way to have made that connection. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's so weird. There are weird things like that, you smell carrots or something. You smell some random thing, and it's the exact same smell as when you were a toddler or like in kindergarten or the cafeteria in
Yeah.
school or something, and it gives you a quick flashback, and
It's not carrots though.
yeah, no, well, I have smelled like a weird food smell where it gave me a flashback to like second grade. You know what I mean? And it's like weird, but
I
if
just want to point out that carrots don't have a smell.
carrots, when you when you cook carrots in the cafeteria, they do.
I used to have a joke when I did the stand up that it was raw carrots, like baby carrots, taste how hungry feels.
Say that again.
Carrots taste how hungry feels.
Carrots taste how hungry feels.
So don't eat baby carrots on an empty stomach because you're just basically feeding yourself your own empty stomach feeling.
I don't get it.
You're not supposed to. That's why it was funny. Anyway, yes,
Anyway, let's move.
I get the dread and the impending doom feeling. Are you ever right though? Do you ever call your mom and she's like, "Yeah, the dog just shat on my foot."
uh, no, no, I'm never right, but like sometimes
Oh,
some people I just get this feeling. Uh,
I'm right a lot of the time when I have that feeling.
yeah, I'm never right. Usually it just means I need cheeseburgers or something, you know what I mean? I'm
Yeah.
having withdrawals from cheeseburgers. But let's move on to the next question.
Okay.
What is a good answer if you get asked, what is an interesting fact about you? What's a good answer? I guess this is maybe in a job interview or a date.
Yeah, hopefully not a date.
Yeah.
Excuse me, sir, what is an interesting fact about you?
Yeah. What's even worse is if you're on a date and the person says, "Okay, I want you to list 5 things that you like about me," or something. It's
It's a
what?
first date.
Yeah, what? Yeah.
I would love that. Please put me on that date. What is a good answer when somebody asks what is an interesting fact about you? Well, I think that a good answer to that would be list an interesting fact about you. No, I'm just kidding. I don't know, something maybe you've achieved or a hobby that you're interested in. Like, I'm a league bowler. I don't know, just something, not anything too ridiculously specific.
Yeah, I would just keep it as vague as possible. You're trying to impress somebody on a job interview. Just make
In
it.
my free time, I love to bake cakes, or I'm really into dog training. I used to do stand up. I used to put that on my resume.
Oh yeah, they like that.
I used to be like on the bottom of my resume, like, hosted, produced, comedy shows. And I always got actually interesting. I always got asked about it. They'd always be like, because it was something that made me stand out. And when they asked me about it, I'd be like, oh yeah, and just kind of give a little information about it. And then I stuck out in their head because my resume didn't look like everyone else's.
And you look like you're like, oh, this person has a good personality. They're not bashful. That makes for a good leader and a
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
good employee. Let's see here. Phil, flashback to the last thing he said. I can't count the times my mom said the dog shat on my foot. LOL. Human head weighs 8 pounds. Yes, it does. And Kim is joined us now. Kim,
Hi,
what's up, Kim?
Kim.
Yeah.
Hello.
Oh, Phil says, I would never have gone on a date with you, but I did. Fun fact.
Whoa, Phil.
Another fun fact for Dave, I meet girls on the Clint Baker Show podcast. Dave says I steal other people's scabs. Gross. Oh boy. All right, let's jump to another fun fact.
None of those would be things you would say.
I might. I eat worms. That was the random thing I used to say all the time.
That tracks.
That was even my Wi-Fi password for a long time.
I thought you were gonna say that was my wife.
My wife, yeah.
That's my wife.
All right, let's see. Next question we got. My boyfriend and I have been dating for 6 months. We are thinking of moving in together, but I'm worried it'll mess things up. Should I wait or should we wait? Asking for a friend.
Ooh, baby.
Do you know what it's worth?
Thank you for coming in with that. We should answer the question probably.
Yeah. So should this? Do you think? Are you ready to move in together? I mean, are y'all crazy about each other? Do you get that feeling of impending doom when you go to sleep at night and the person's not next to you and you wake up and you want to know exactly how they're doing? Immediately, you have to be with this person. Then
Yeah.
do it.
I
Um,
have questions for this person.
I have hypothetical answers because I don't have the person with me, but
Yeah,
I
yeah,
will,
yeah.
but I'll help you best I can. But I also have
Yeah.
some suggestions on some things to do before. But go for it. What are your questions, Mia?
Well, I would say ask yourselves, is moving in a goal that you want? Because when people start dating, they tend to date by this kind of society's like timeline, and people sometimes don't even think to question that timeline. Like, you date, then you're official, and then enough time passes, and then you're supposed to move in, and then another enough time passes, and then you're supposed to get engaged. But like, that doesn't necessarily have to be what your relationship looks like. So if you think that it's just the next logical step, I want you to question, like, if that is even something you want. And if it is, it doesn't necessarily have to be because it's been 6 months. Or, do you sleep well together? I personally cannot stand sleeping next to people, so that sounds like my worst nightmare. Have you spent long weekends together, long time to like in the same area? How do you resolve conflict? I don't know. There's just a lot of stuff to think about. And if you really don't want it to mess things up, like, there has to be clear communication
Communication.
and boundaries and respecting each other's boundaries.
Yeah, and
And yeah,
every
that's
time
it.
Mia says communication, we get a. Was that the sound, or do we have the air horn?
That was the sound. The air horn's too much.
Okay. Yeah.
It's just the bell. I'm gonna go buy a triangle and just start banging
Just
my
do it.
own.
Ding. Yeah. I agree with you. There's so many things. My suggestion is go on vacation with the person for a long time,
That's what I was thinking. Have you spent a lot of
es-
time like together? Yeah.
especially in another country where you can't read any of the signs, and that will really you'll know real quick.
Mm.
Trust me, I've done it, and yeah, you will figure out real quick when you're in an airport. You can't tell where anything is, and you can't read anything, and things start getting stressful. That's when you really know. It's one thing you know, to go bowling together, or to go out and eat, or go to the dog park. That's one thing, but when stuff gets rough and you get lost, or even driving around in a city and you get lost in a city in a car
Yeah.
together, why did you should have exited back there? Well, oh, I'm sorry, I didn't see that. I told you to get in the right lane.
Yeah.
It can that's when the real tests come, because it's when it's fun, it's easy. When it gets
Yeah.
difficult, that's when it gets interesting. So
I would like to think in those situations that I'm funny, even though I'm upset. But I know there are times that I've not been that way. But that was probably also related to the person that I was
yeah.
with. Because I've definitely had times where I've been like, just nothing is working out, right? Every single thing about the day is just like crapping out on you. And I'm still able to like maintain like the comic aspect of that going down. Yeah, you have to spend time away with somebody for sure.
I mean, it's also, if you're high anxiety personalities, or if you're with this other person, do they mellow you out and it's cool? Because sometimes being in a car together, you're so happy to be in the car
Yeah.
together that you miss the exit. Who cares? Whatever, we'll figure it out. You know what I mean? And it's not a big
Yeah.
deal. And it just depends. It depends on the personalities. You know, everybody's
Yeah.
different. Kim says, I'd wait a year to move in. Folks are still on their good behavior at 6 months. Sometimes, but sometimes it works out, you know? Sometimes
Yeah.
it's okay. Everyone's different. So you just
There's
really
no
get,
rules really. It's
mm-mm,
up to you guys.
yeah.
And also know that it's not permanent, you know?
That's true too. Have a backup plan.
Always
Just
have an exit.
just put all your real furniture in storage, and then get a bunch of like cheap furniture off of like Facebook Marketplace or
Yeah.
something, and pretend that's your normal furniture. Move in there, and then if you just need to, you just bail, and then your real furniture is in storage.
Have you ever lived with
It's
a
not real.
long-term partner?
Me? Yeah. For probably a year and a half.
I've never done it, and I don't think I've ever really like wanted to do it either.
I was in a relationship where I had my own place and I was staying over there every day, and it was like, and then we ended up moving in together, and we lived together for over a year. So
That's interesting.
yeah, and it was cool until it wasn't, and then it was time to go. Um, you know,
Right, right, right,
and
right, right.
there's a with everyone there's a point where you can reach where you're supposed to be have each other's backs, and there's a point when you reach where
Yeah.
that you can't go back. Once you pass this threshold of starting to be mean to each other, then it's like then
Yeah.
there's some scarring, and then y'all are
Resentment.
your resentment, and you start one-upping
Yeah.
each other on being mean to each other, and you're supposed to be one-upping each other on being cool to each other, being good to each
Right.
other,
And you're
not
not
the
tackling the problem together.
yeah.
It's you against each other versus you against the problem. The
And
two of
once
you against the problem, yeah.
and it's a mild version of the hurt you get when you find out somebody cheated on you. Very seldom do people want to keep continuing because there's this pain that they're going to keep. Even
Yeah.
just saying one shitty thing can cross a threshold to where it's like you can't unsay that. You know what I mean? So it would have been nice to have never gone there in the first place. So it's crazy. So yeah, I've experienced it, and then that
Yeah.
then they say something ugly to me, I say something back, and then it's like, and then all of a sudden you wake up one day and you're like, dude, that sucks. And that's what I think
Yeah.
happens. So the moral is, don't say anything shitty to anybody ever. Unless
Well,
they cut you off in traffic or don't use their turn signal, then they can fuck
approach
off.
approach problems with, open and understanding and communication. You knew I was gonna
I
say it.
knew you were gonna say
Um,
that.
Currently, I am living with someone. I do his laundry and his dishes, and feed him 3 times a day.
Man, you
Sometimes snacks in between. I entertain him constantly.
Mia,
I mean,
you're the perfect. You sound like the perfect companion, Mia.
yeah, he calls me mom.
Oh, I knew that's where you were going.
Yeah, it's pretty good. I got it.
He's a good dude.
Made,
He's a
got
good
it
little
made in the
dude.
shade, y'all. Okay, we have some comments. What do we have going on here?
Yeah, let's look.
Some of these comments are clearly being silly.
Yes. Well, for one of them says, yeah, you need to make sure you can fart in front of the person. Basically,
Yeah,
I
that's
suggest a
true.
Dutch oven. You just get one Dutch oven. If that doesn't end the relationship, then you know you're okay.
No, you should not do that to anyone ever from a medical standpoint.
It's not poisonous, is it? Yeah, you have to be
How do you think
careful.
people get pink eye?
Oh,
Poo particles.
poop. You got to wipe front to back, or you can get pink eye. Let's see. You have to be careful. Don't move in too much stuff if it comes to the point where you'll put a. Can you finish
You'll put
reading
up
that?
with anything just because you don't feel like moving your wait. You have
Moving
to
your
be
stuff.
careful. Don't move in too much stuff if it comes to a point where you will put up with anything just because you don't feel like moving your stuff. Really sucks. I get what you're saying. Like,
Yeah.
but how are you gonna not move in everything?
Yeah. And also, if you don't move all your stuff in, you're not putting trust. You're not putting
You're
trust into the relationship.
you're going in with one foot out the door already.
Yeah. That's what you can you could do that and then have like a side girlfriend like if like oh no,
No,
that's
you
not good.
can't.
That's not
That's
okay,
not
Clint. Not
that's not
cool.
okay, Clint.
Never on Can you read this for me? I'm having vision issues.
Never on my best behavior. I don't have time to fool around. This is me. You like it or you don't. If you don't, then we are not compatible. And it went away. Um,
If you
if
can't
you can't
handle the
handle a
bathroom,
bathroom door being open and me trying to have a conversation, then sorry, we're not going to work out.
yep, could talk, you got to be able to talk while you're pooping. You know, I mean,
No,
yeah.
that's a boundary issue, and I have an issue with that. I don't want to have a conversation with someone while they're pooping.
You don't want to see like my head and knees sticking out around a door frame.
Do you know how many conversations I've had to have with people while they're going to the bathroom? A lot, because I'm a healthcare professional, and when I come home, I would like to also not have to deal with that. Another reason why I don't want to live with a partner. Thank you for solidifying that for me, Phil.
Uh,
I think it would be cool. This would be ideal for me. If I can't live in a house that's like big enough to have like really my actual own room with a partner, how about like condos like in the same building?
Condos in the same building. That's a good one.
Yeah.
You
Doesn't
get,
that sound like really nice?
you gotta like do it, or if you could do it with like a adjoining door, like hotel rooms have, you know, but you have a prearranged agreement that there's only certain days that the door's open. You know,
Interesting.
you're like,
Interesting.
hey, we'll call Friday and Saturdays like date nights. So those days it's a free
The
open door,
door's open.
but the
Yeah.
rest of the week we have privacy. Unless we want to, then we have to go around and knock on the front door. That's pretty good for
That's
me.
not
I
bad.
I, I like my me time, so I
I was
think that would
thinking
work.
condos in the same build in the same not maybe next to each other though.
Mm.
You
The,
know what? How
hey,
about separate places completely?
hold on one second. I gotta find a question that I'm gonna move up the the queue because of what you just said.
Okay.
Okay.
Kim says, I know a couple who live next door to one another. Lots of interaction, but they have their own space. And she
Okay.
also says, I was in a relationship for 20 plus years. I don't think I'll ever want to live with someone again. But if I did, I'd want us to both move into a place that was new for both of us. So neither partner had a preconceived notion of how, yeah, that makes sense. Like, so you're both going into a brand new place versus one moving into the other's place. Unless one of the people like owns a, I don't know. I guess that depends. But it does make it feel less like you're moving into my place, my space.
Yeah.
Phil says
Phil says
adjoining condos.
adjoining condos?
Yeah.
Like his
Sounds
voice went high when he said it. Adjoining condos?
yeah, that sounds really great.
Yeah. Let's see here.
I have nightmares about unprivate poops.
I'm
I'm
sorry.
sorry,
You're my
no.
Wednesday girl. Call me tomorrow. No thanks.
No, I was thinking still, in a committed relationship, Phil. Thank you. Not just stooping your neighbor every once in a while.
Yeah, Dave says you must have a lot of cash to have adjoining condos in Austin.
Yeah, speaking of that, if you want to give me money, I found a condo I want to move into. It's only $460,000.
Yeah, we'll put Mia's PayPal information in the comments of this. I mean, in the description of this video
If you want to
after
give,
we're done. If you
if
want to
you want
give
to give me money, it's probably going to be sold in less than 5 hours,
by
knowing how the market works here. So, I need to make $460,000 in the
quick.
next.
Yeah, it'll be
Yeah.
somebody from China or California that's never seen it. They'll just buy it.
You can come hang out in it. So also, it's an investment. Think of it like investing in like your friend's bar. You're investing in my condo. You can come hang out. You can have it one whole day a month.
A whole day?
One whole day.
A whole day for only $483,000. Is that right?
60,
Oh,
but
what a bargain.
yeah. If we want to make sure we can get it, we should offer 480.
Um, CB3 says, Mia, I heard you say that you could not imagine sleeping next to someone.
It's not that I can't imagine sleeping next to someone. I just don't sleep well next to people. Now, there is an exception to this. If it's a king bed and you can sleep, there's actually a lot of studies on this about how
Mhm.
sleeping separately from your partner is really healthy for you and your relationship. You don't have to be right next to each other when you're sleeping. Getting a good night's sleep is extremely important. Um, but like snoring, I'm not gonna put up with it, you know? I mean, like, I have to sleep. I can't not sleep. And so, yeah, I mean, if somebody snores, then you got to have separate spaces. But the king bed thing wasn't bad. That actually worked out for the time that it was going on because I had such a so far away from them in the bed. Like you could snuggle, and then when you're ready to sleep, you just go to your opposite ends of the bed. Actually, my mattress side of mine had like a big plush pillow top thingy on it. It was like my own little bed, basically. And that was nice. I slept great in that. But yeah, I couldn't like in a queen bed. Queen beds are made for one person, a queen, me.
Well, I don't go to sleep till super late at night.
Me. That's another we've talked about this on the
Yeah,
show.
yeah.
Going to bed at different times. I'm a
That
very late person. I stay up very late.
if you could sync it up, like for instance, Robert Rodriguez, he edits video and does work on his projects all night in the middle of the night, and
Yeah.
then when his kids get up, he makes them breakfast, he takes them to school, and then he goes home and he goes to sleep. And then
Yeah.
he wakes up and his kids come home from, so he's got like his life synced up even though he's on opposite schedules, but he has complete privacy. If you could find somebody that like you sleep, even though they snore, y'all sleep at different times, but then still find a time to hang out together and you can talk with your
Yeah.
hands, then just kidding. Then that would be interesting. Hmm.
Yeah.
Separate sleeping arrangements. A
Our
set
marriage
or a
saver.
marriage saver, yeah.
See, yeah, I totally think that it's I have friends who the second they moved into the house they purchased together after they got married, they never even had the conversation. He was like, "This is my room," and she's like, "This is my room." They just knew, like they slept together when they were like broke in college, and like they didn't have a choice. But then when they finally bought a house, they just had their own spaces, and it's always worked out. And there's not, I mean, there's nights where they've fallen asleep after doing things together, but like they have their own sleeping space, and I just think that's really nice.
I'm like really hot natured where I like it's I'm like, "Oh, get off me." I'm never cold. That's another thing is
Yeah.
there's the age old thermostat argument and then the toilet seat argument. It's just so many
Right.
dumb things that
Right.
yeah. I used to put the toilet seat and the lid down and I would like, if I have to lift a seat, then you have to lift a seat. And, is that
Yeah.
fair?
I like to have you seen that pedal for the seat? It's actually kind of cool because I will say, speaking to the toilet seat argument, um, you don't just put it down because one person prefers it down. You put it down because it's when you flush a toilet, they've done studies like poo particles go like 14 inches into the air. Like if you put your toilet seat down every single time you flush it, after a couple of weeks, the inside of the seat, the lid will start to have mildew on it because there's a reason you close it when you flush. It's not about preference, it's about being sanitary, and it drives me crazy when it doesn't go
What
down
if you
after poop. I don't care what you do after you pee.
what if you poop? What if you flush while you're still sitting?
Then you're getting it all over your butthole.
What if you have what if you have one of those fancy Japanese bidet
A
toilets?
bidet? Bidets are wonderful. Everyone should get a bidet.
Yeah, if you get the super high dollar ones, they actually dry your bum too.
I know. And there's one I've been looking into. I think I'm gonna buy it. It's like a little over $300. It'll go in my $460,000 condo.
Phil says just sit down when you pee. We had a friend named Super Dave
I know a lot of men that sit down when they pee.
yeah, he pierced his junk, and we all actually paid. He's like, "Hey, I'll pierce my junk if you all pay for it," and we all pitched in
Hmm.
and paid for it, and it was really funny at the time.
Sounds like he kind of also wanted his junk pierced,
Yeah,
because
but it was really funny because
so basically what happened was he wanted it pierced, he acted like he didn't, and then convinced you guys, "Haha, guess what? I'll do it if you pay for it." He
yeah,
just got you guys to pay for his piercing.
and all of us just we were on it's a weird band on tour. All of us just
Yeah,
coughed up money, and then he ends up
I
going in
like
there.
that trick.
Yeah, it was hilarious, and I'm sitting in the lobby, and there was some guy next to me, and Super Dave's in there, and all of a sudden you can hear from the other room, and you hear, "Oh God!" And the guy sitting next to me looked at me. I was like, he just got his junk pierced, and the guy just in the lobby just got up and left. He was because he heard the screams, but
He was about to get his junk
I who
pierced.
knows? But he changed his. He was like, "All right, I'm out of here." But he said he's like, "Yeah, man, I gotta have to pee for 6 weeks. I gotta pee sitting down." And he was like, "Yeah, I just took a leak, and it's very liberating." He's like, I enjoyed it, you know." And I thought that was hilarious. Hilarious response.
Yeah. I know a lot of men that sit to pee, and I think we should just not shame men. You know what I've always thought was really weird? When you go into a women's restroom, they're all stalls. None of us just pee out in the open. So why is it normal for men, just because you can stand to pee, why were urinals created where your genitals are just out, and why is that okay for men and not women? It's not okay. And if, as a man, if you go into the stall, it's assumed you're going to poop, and so
Ye-
then you're shamed for that. So I think that it's just dumb. Men deserve just as much privacy as women, and there should be
Well,
closed door stalls in all bathrooms for men and women. Just because you have,
well,
it's just
Well,
men, poor
some
men,
some urinals have a little wall there, and then
a little
sometimes
divider, yeah.
yeah, sometimes it's just a trough. But there's actually in Europe there's these these huge round things that are urinals, and you just walk up to it in public. You're out in the open. You're like walking down the street, and you just walk up to the thing and start peeing. It's pretty crazy. But men have a there's a thing you learn, kind of like when you're trying to protect your prison food. Like when you
Mhm.
got your arms up, like there's a kind of a stance you get where you're like
Yeah,
you
well,
can
that
block
sucks.
nobody could see you. It's
You
not that
shouldn't
big.
have to do that, though.
What I like to do as a grown man is to walk up to a urinal and drop my pants to my ankles with my bum hanging out, and I pee like that. That's like a first grader. That's the way to do
Yeah,
it.
the whole thing is weird to me. I'm sorry that men don't get, the privacy, and if you go into the privacy stall, you just assume that you're pooping. Mm.
Uh, Kim says it got catfished by a dude who wanted to turn his junk into a sprinkler.
We didn't think it was gonna be this huge ring, though, he
Yeah.
screamed.
Oh, yeah. We always use the women's restrooms in bars. Yes, I have used in just about every medium-sized music venue in the United States. I probably have been in the women's bathroom of probably about 40% of them.
Yeah.
I would venture to say. Let's see here. Public bathrooms were designed by men traditionally and were probably freaked out by the idea of women changing their. Mia, you want to finish reading that?
But women, you can't say the word menstrual, Clint. Just kidding. His eyes have been wonky. Yeah, by women changing their menstrual products and strangers being able to see it. That does make sense, but my point was just that men deserve the same privacy that women deserve. Is all I was saying.
Yeah. Well, before we went on this, before we went on this bathroom rant, I had this this neighbor question that I queued up.
Ooh, let's freaking answer it.
I possibly gotten myself into a bad situation. I started dating a neighbor that's different than I'm used to. I feel like I'm playing with fire, but it's been so much fun up to this point. Should I be worried? I don't know what different than I'm used to means. I don't know if that means maybe you like the person has a peg leg, or if
I
they're
think
into
maybe they're just saying that they wouldn't normally do something like that.
oh, that's different than I'm used to. That's one of those
Yeah, yeah,
cases
yeah.
that they should have put a comma because it
Yeah.
changes the whole meaning, the Oxford comma. Um, yeah. Now,
I
okay,
guess, I mean, it depends too, like, what is this living situation? Like, are they in part are they in well, I'm kind of into this idea. No,
I'm laughing like I don't date many pirates, but this guy is great.
this guy's do they, are they both in, like, places that they own, they've purchased, like, and it's gonna be permanent and awkward forever? Like, do we not know that?
this is a classic of example of you don't shit where you eat. You know what I mean? It's just like
Right, right,
work. You
right, right.
shouldn't you shouldn't start messing around with your coworker. Uh, because if you don't like the situation, you're stuck with them unless you want to get a new job. Same thing. If you can't get how do you get a restraining order against a crazy I don't maybe actually legally they can do that. I don't know. What if your
What if they
neighbor
just met the love of their life, though?
well, that's the other thing. Like, what do you do? That's what they're saying. They're having a great time, but should they be worried? Yeah, you should be worried, but don't let it consume you, or you'll screw up a good thing if maybe y'all were meant for
Yeah.
each other.
I would say don't be worried until you have to be worried.
Yes. Then Dave says, dating your neighbor sucks. When you split up, they're still your neighbor. Exactly. You have to
Yeah.
keep seeing this person. You can't leave. They always know when you come home. It's bad enough. It's bad enough having a crazy ex drive by your house or something like that. Not that I've ever
Yeah.
had that. Not that I've ever done that. I'm just kidding. No, but but if they live in the building across the way, you can see. You gotta have your blinds closed all the time.
That's right. So if they're right now they're just in the, like, fun messing around stage, and then at a certain point, she's gonna or he's gonna be like, "Oh, she's not home. What is she doing? She hasn't texted me back. Who's
Yeah.
she out with?" This is gonna create some jealousy if boundaries are not. They need to if they want to keep doing it, they need to set some pretty clear boundaries about what this is early on, or else it is gonna be a weird situation.
So you're saying they should what?
I'm saying they should set boundaries like, okay, this is just a fun, sexy thing, and that's all it's ever going to be. And as soon as it's not fun for one of us, it ends, and that's the end. And we're going to stay cordial and set those clear boundaries, or, unless they're trying to make it something more.
So you can avoid a conflict if you just
Maybe communicate.
yeah. I was
Did
sit-
I get did I get it right?
You got it. You got it. I was
It's like
setting it up.
we finish each other's salads.
Oh.
No.
I've got
Do you have a cricket? Do you have a cricket sound?
a cricket sound.
Yeah. What the heck is that?
That's not very good.
We have 8 viewers.
I
Hey,
know.
if you're not the 5 people that have been commenting, please comment to let us know who you are and say hello.
Yeah. Let's see. Even if it's even worse if it's your next door neighbor. Yeah, and how about like all of a sudden something completely innocent, but somebody from work gives you a ride home or something, and you're like, why did
Yeah.
so and so drop you off or whatever? That can get real rough.
Exactly. I would yeah, I like the don't shit where you eat analogy.
I like that Curtis said pooping cricket.
You made a pooping cricket sound.
That's the name of my new band, Pooping Cricket. All right, let's
Yeah.
here's a fun one. What is a garbage food? This is I used the word garbage food that you got fed as a kid that you love. I saw this question and kind of rephrased it. But what is a garbage,
Oh.
just trash, bad food that you got fed as a kid that you absolutely love?
Clint, I'm a 90s latchkey kid. Literally everything I ate was trash.
I mean, I'm an
Like
80s kid.
we would go to the grocery store to purchase things that I could safely make on my own in a microwave when mom wasn't home. Like like, you wanna talk Hot Pockets, ramen,
Yes.
freaking these things were staples in my diet at a teenage age. Now, I'm not saying we didn't eat healthy and my parents cooked and we ate good food, but there were snacks in the house all the time. Um, yeah, I don't know. What would be, like, the one that sticks out for you?
For me, when I was a kid, man, uh, I remember being in first grade and
Uh-huh.
getting woken up because it's time for school, and my mom would bring me a cup of coffee, and
What?
I would get coffee with cream and sugar, and I would get like Little Debbie's snack cakes
That
for
was your
that was
breakfast?
my breakfast. Yes, I would get like
What the hell?
they had these ones that were like strawberry and icing rolls that were 2 of them in this t in on a white cardboard,
Yeah,
sell them, and I
I
would
know
go
what you're talking
sit
about.
down at the table and eat those and drink my coffee, and I'm like 6
That is
years
the
old.
most insane thing I've ever heard in my life.
Yeah,
That explains so much about who
it
you are.
and then also, like, there was other ones. Sometimes I'd get those. Sometimes, if I got lucky, I would get Star Crunch, which is just like Rice Krispies
Ooh.
dipped in like chocolate, and that was my breakfast.
When I
And
was in middle school, I, for like a year, would go to the vending machine and get those mothers or are they grandmother's cookies? The white cookies with the cream in the
yeah,
middle?
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Grandma's, I think, right?
I think they're
Yeah.
grandma's, yeah.
And then I would get Reese's cups and I would go into the cafeteria and I would open every cookie and put a little piece of Reese's cup in every cookie and I would eat that for my lunch and then I'd rush off to the band hall
Well,
to practice my drum and mallet percussion skills.
we also got
I
like
was not cool.
you are cool. Uh-huh.
I wasn't thin. I've gotten cooler.
We'd also get all kinds of sugary cereals, like
Oh yeah, yeah,
like
yeah.
right.
We ate all the junk.
Yeah, I mean, Fruity Pebbles was a good one. Cocoa Pebbles, and it didn't matter what kind of pebbles I was getting. If I got those, I was stoked.
You got Pebbles.
Um,
I just went through, I wrote a little list of all the cereals I ate as a kid that I want to try one more time as an adult. I just want to do a one and done with these cereals, and it's a pretty long list. It's like Lucky Charms, Smacks, Pops. I don't even know if some of these are still a thing because I don't buy these for my kid. Uh, all of them. There's just all of them. I want to eat all of them.
Frosted Flakes were good. I remember when my dad started, like Total came out, and it was like that's the healthy cereal because you got fiber. It'll take
Yeah.
4 bowls. Let's see. Kim says fried bologna sandwiches.
Ooh.
Ooh, and then
My Do you remember, okay, you know how they have like the cinnamon rolls, the like Pillsbury whatever?
yeah, yeah, yeah,
Cinnamon rolls. My
yeah.
mom would buy these ones that were like orange. They were like orange cinnamon rolls, and then she would put the icing on them. Those were like, God, I love those. I want to find those. I wonder if those are still a thing.
You know, there was also these yellow cookies that had cornflakes in them mixed
Ooh.
in. They were yellow cookies and they had a red icing right in the middle, and
Mm.
they were badass. They used to come from HEB, the
Ooh,
grocery
those
store,
molasses
if you're from out
cookies
of
were
state.
freaking.
Yeah, that
Oh.
and like I grew up with the border, so I got like
Ooh,
empanadas and
yeah,
like all kinds of
empanadas.
Mexican bakery stuff. It's like
Oh.
the good stuff.
Kim
Laura,
says Pillsbury orange rolls are still a thing and still delish. Yes. And my mom would take the icing and she would put it in a bowl and mix it with more like powdered sugar or and something else and just make more icing and just like douse them in icing.
oh
Mom,
yum.
are you watching? I want some freaking orange rolls, lady. Chop chop.
Let's see here. Me,
Mia, they are called pinwheels and they still come with the icing. Yes, somebody find these for
let's
me.
get some
My
pinwheels.
birthday is a week from tomorrow, August 13th. My birthday's Friday the 13th this year.
Ooh, I gotta order you that tanning
Right.
neck
Please,
tanner for
please,
your
please.
birthday.
Thank you.
Gas station sushi? I don't know about that. Well,
No, thank you.
after I saw that last question about the garbage food that
Yeah.
are guilty pleasures, I wanted to put this is my question. What is the best fast food item that you are guilty of loving? Asking for a
Oh,
friend. That's my question from everybody in the chat and you, Mia. What is your favorite?
somebody
Uh,
just said your pale neck is freaking me out. Is it a big color difference for you
no,
guys
it's not.
watching?
You're all paranoid now.
Well, because it has been on previous shows. I promise you, I try to make my makeup very even. Okay, fast food. I will say this. There's a few of my favorites. I don't eat a lot of fast food. I try to eat a more healthy diet. But there's one thing that I do once a year, and I screwed myself this year. I did it in December, and then I did it a week later in January. So I can't do it again until December. I mean, until next January.
Is this the McRib? Or what are we talking about?
It is Long John Silver's chicken.
What?
It is so bad for you. And I get the extra crunchy fried pieces and the hush puppies. I will eat that once a year. I will go to freaking town on it.
Long
Oh
John
my
Silver's
god.
has chicken?
Yeah. Yeah.
That's a thing? I didn't even know that.
I want to tell you something right now while we're having this conversation.
Okay, what do you got?
I've never eaten beef from a fast food restaurant ever. I've always gotten chicken.
You've never had a hamburger you've never
Except
eaten a
for
hamburger.
except for like Dan's, which is local,
Mm-hmm.
and P. Terry's.
Which
But
is
I have,
local.
which is local. I've never had like a McDonald's, a Burger King. I always got chicken. I didn't even eat red meat really until I was pregnant.
Wow.
I grew up not eating red meat, so I just never got burgers at restaurants. So yeah, it's all chicken items for me. The chicken sandwich at Popeyes is so freaking good.
Have you had the new chicken taco? It's actually chicken chalupa from Taco Bell. It's a chicken. The taco shell is chicken. It's a breaded
Ew.
chicken thing that is folded like a chalupa shell, and then it has chicken in it. So it's chicken inside of chicken, and then they put other stuff in it. It is the most bizarre thing I've ever seen, and it's actually pretty
Ugh.
good.
No, we did Taco Bell one
If
day and it
if you're in
was
the
so
mood for
bad.
chicken,
Yeah. Oh, I don't like Taco Bell.
yeah.
What's yours? What's yours?
Doritos Tacos Loco is pretty good. What's my absolute favorite? Oh boy. Well, a guilty food. I don't really know. There's a lot of really good crap out there.
Yeah.
Um, let's see what the chat says while I deliberate.
Okay.
So,
That Long John
oh,
Silver's
Wiener
chicken.
Schnitzel. That's Dave's favorite. I absolutely knew. I've
Ooh.
seen Dave be in the left lane on a highway and pull across 3 lanes of traffic just to make the exit in time to just in a
I've
van
never
and
been
trail.
to a Wiener Schnitzel. And what is it?
It's a hot
dogs?
dog place. It's good.
Ooh,
Yeah, and there's one on
I love hot dogs.
and if you're up north in Austin, I know there's one on um Breaker and Burnett, close to the new soccer stadium over there.
I really like a really good baseball stadium hot dog or a dirty water dog from New York.
Yeah.
Give me a dirty water dog any day.
Uh, CB3 says Jack in the Box Ultimate Bacon Cheeseburger Combo with curly fries and a Dr. Pepper. That is definitely good drunk food. I could tell you that.
I don't drink soda, but anytime someone gets a Dr. Pepper, I have to have like a couple of sips. But I could never drink a whole soda to myself. That I would be so sick. I don't think I've had a whole soda in like 15 years.
Kim says Enchilito from Taco Bell and a Dr. Pepper shake from Whataburger. I'm pretty sure I've told the story before, but one of my good buddies,
What's
his
a Dr. Pepper shake?
Dr. Pepper shake, that's a thing. One of my good buddies, well, he's my good buddy, but his my best friend in high school in life, and his little brother. His little brother is a very intelligent guy who really pronounces. He's got blonde hair and blue eyes, but he really pronounces his Spanish.
Yeah.
And he'll say, "I'll take the tacos al pastor," like super, like it's almost like an SNL skit. He really pronounces his Mexican food. And then we hit one time we hit the Taco Bell drive-through. And he said, yes, I'll have the enchirito, and I said, whoa, 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 you don't get to do that this time. Tacos al pastor. You can do that, but I'm not going to
Yeah.
let you get to. Enchirito is not a real thing. That's a PepsiCo product. Enchirito. You don't
Enchilada.
get to Mexican the enchirito. That's a Dorito mixed with an enchilada. That's not a real thing. And so yeah, that was fun. So
That's like when I used to bartend. Tell me if this has ever happened to you, because you're a bartender, Clint.
mhm.
Um, I would have people come in. Oh, this is one of my favorite things that would ever happen. Okay, Dos Equis is a brand name. It doesn't matter where in the world you order one, it's still called Dos Equis. And I've had people whose English is not their first language order either a Dos X's or a two Equis. I'm not even kidding you.
Are you
It's like
saying Are you saying Spanish speakers? Because I'm diagnosing this situation. Are you saying
yes.
Spanish speakers try to do that? They're trying to.
Spanish speakers would try to order it in English, but I'm like, first of all, they would mix it. So they would either say two Equis or dos X's. So they're only doing one word. But also, it doesn't matter because that wouldn't help me know what you're talking about because it's called Dos Equis anywhere.
So check it out. This is a thing I've seen.
Really would always make me like, and then I would just be like, propina in my freaking tip jar now.
Because English is not their first language, they're looking at this as they're not looking at it as a brand name. They're looking at it as the word, and they're just
No,
trying
and
to.
I get that. I
Yeah,
get that.
and
I
they're.
get they're trying to be courteous, but
I,
it's just funny to me.
yeah,
It was
but
always funny.
I'm gonna give you another example that I've seen many times that it makes even more sense now that you've told me your story. When I tell you
Yeah.
my story, you're going to go, "Oh," and I feel like it's just somebody trying to play ball with the other language. And I've been in other places to where I'm like in Europe and other places where I'm
Mhm.
trying to order or do things, and German's not my first language. I'm trying to play ball and stuff. And I've had many people that Spanish is their first language that has working in Mexican restaurants that say I'd say yeah, and I'm like, hey, you guys want to start with an appetizer, any kind of dip, and so and they say, yeah, can we get cheese? What?
Right, because
and and
queso.
and they're ordering a queso, and we don't
Yeah,
think
yeah, yeah,
about like,
yeah.
oh yeah, yeah. Can we get a cheese? And I go, you mean a queso? Yeah, we'll get you a queso. To them, they're just saying, oh, that's just the Spanish word.
Yeah,
You know what I
yeah,
mean?
yeah, yeah, yeah.
But to them, that just means cheese. It doesn't mean like that's like enchiladas or taco. That's not the name of a menu item.
Exactly.
That's just how
Yeah.
you say cheese. And so to them, that makes sense. And it almost annoys me when I hear somebody say that, but it's just a language thing. It's really
That
weird.
one makes sense too, because the word queso, but queso's not a brand of a product all over the world, whereas Dos Equis is a brand name.
But queso is a dish.
It is a
So
dish.
it's like
And I
saying
will like there
it's
are a
like
lot of brands we say wrong here. Like, I don't even think we say Nike the right way.
Nikkei. Just kidding.
I watched this whole video where it's like we're pronouncing literally everything wrong as stupid Americans. So
But it's like saying hamburger, or it's like saying taco, chalupa, flautas. Like it's like saying all those things. Queso, that's a dip. That's what we think of it as. We don't think of it as
yeah,
it's just cheese. To them,
yeah.
they're not thinking of a casserole. They're not thinking of they're just thinking that's the word for cheese. So if somebody
Order
orders,
cheese.
can I get a cheese? I want to just bring them a slice of American cheese and go, here you go. But because you're saying it wrong, but anyway, it's like, dude, you don't have to Americanify it. Just say it.
I
Just,
feel like we've answered no questions,
I
but
know,
we've
but whatever. We're having
accomplished
fun.
so much. This is like a good vibe. Let's see, we have comments.
Dave says, I know Natchet likes the Texas burger from Jack in the Box mustard only. And I know
Ooh.
Natchet's in the comments also. So,
McRib is my obsession, Kim. When it's in your town, I'll eat two of them every day until they leave. When it's in town. Oh, because they come and go. I wouldn't know. Uh
I don't know what my guilty pleasure would be as far as I really like Popeyes. I can tell you that. Popeyes fried chicken, a
Yeah.
lot.
I like their sandwich, their
That's
chicken
good too.
sandwich.
Yeah.
I really it's better than Chick-fil-A, and Chick-fil-A sucks.
Also, you're talking about Long John Silver's. Long John Silver's fish. I don't care what anybody says. Long John Silver's fish is good. It's
Well, the chicken, I believe, is battered in the same batter the fish is. So it has that same kind of fish battered flavor,
yeah.
kind of like fish and chips, or like if you go to a place that has fish and chips and you get the chicken's in that same batter, like an Irish pub or something. It always has that same flavor. But I'm not a big fish person, so I don't ever order the fish.
Sonic, you don't have to get too crazy at Sonic. It's just amazing.
Corn dogs,
Yeah. That that good fatter batter? I think that's what that's supposed to say.
fatter batter.
Yeah. Okay,
Popeyes red beans and rice is a whole dang meal. I don't like red beans and rice.
the
I don't like
Popeyes red
that
beans and
flavor.
rice is good.
I've never liked that kind of Cajun flavor in red beans and rice. It's not for me. I
I
had a roommate growing up that would cook it and it would make the whole it's a weird mental thing for me.
When I was a kid, Burger King had a amazing chicken sandwich when I was a kid. It was super good. It was like a long chicken
Tess
sandwich.
says I'm in SPI and haven't eaten nothing but shrimp tacos. Tess, that's not even where you were supposed to go. I'll
Go-
text you when I
Hey,
get off the show.
go over to Blackbeard's and get the all you can eat
Oh,
Gulf Coast
we had a
shrimp.
horrible experience at Blackbeard's. Tess and
Okay,
we all
go
went.
go Upper Decker Blackbeard's then. If you had a
Ooh,
don't
not a
do
good
that.
time. Do we have any other questions? It is 9:08.
Oh, I liked Dyer Burger. I'm gonna go with Dave. Check it out, Dyer Burger in Memphis, Tennessee. They
Mhm.
haven't changed their oil since like 1908. The grease in their fryer and the way they cook their burgers, they throw the meat patty into the fryer and it sinks to the
Mm.
bottom. And then when it cooks, it once it's cooked, it floats to the top. And they take it out, and you can get the triple. It's a triple meat, triple cheese, and it's just soaked in grease. And when they moved locations to Beale Street, they had a police escort, and they took the original vat of grease from the old location to the new location because that's their secret. Because every time they cook a burger, it releases grease into the grease, and and of course the grease burns off, and it's sanitary because it's so hot that it's sanitary. But that's their gimmick.
Telling yourself that it's
Yeah,
hot because of sanitary. There are actually like rules on food service that grease has to be changed at after a
not
certain
in
amount of time.
apparently not in Memphis. They just keep adding grease to it, and it's the original grease for 100 years. It's crazy.
That sounds awful.
Yeah, and it's fantastic. So there you go.
Well, it's late, Clint.
Okay, well, I'm from the UK, so it's usually a local place called Piri Fino, which does Piri Firu chicken wraps and Piri Fini salt fries. That sounds chicken wrap and a salt fries sounds good to me.
I want to come visit you.
Yeah, aren't you
Might
glad
invite
we've got Reese 75. He's our UK fan, and now we got the listening
Reese, are you inviting me to come eat this food with you in wherever you live? Where do you live?
in the UK. Duh.
I know, I understand that, but where?
He'll get back here in just a sec.
He'll get back here. There's a little bit of a lag.
We've got a couple more questions, but we can just skip here to the end. Mia, if you got some stuff to do, we've already been on for a long time. We've been on for over an hour.
What's the end?
The end
This
is
the end.
Oh, let's see here. What's something you should never cheap out on? What's something your therapist has told you what's the best thing your therapist ever told you? How do you get out of a gym membership? That one sucks. What is some skills United Kingdom, Mississippi is what CB3 says.
Thank you.
It's a song by The Doors.
This is the end? Yeah, I was singing it. Is that what you're talking about?
let's talk about if anybody's having a hard time and things are looking glum, guys. We got a national suicide hotline. Sometimes if you're stumbling around watching videos and need some help, you might search advice show and find this. And if you're in a bad place, call this number if you need help. There's people out there, and there's a bunch of other places too that are out there that can help you out if you're going through a tough time. So
Do it. I did therapy today. It was great. I actually let me read you something I texted someone earlier about therapy. I said, "What's even the point of having an ass this nice if my mind doesn't match?"
that's true.
So
That's a
get
good.
yourself some get yourself some therapy, y'all.
And Reese 75 says a place called Nando's, which
Has
has
some places in the U.S. I think Washington. It's very similar in popular. I think I've heard of that before.
Nando's.
It must be a popular place in Washington or wherever because I've heard of that before.
Well, cool. Well, gang, we're gonna pull the plug.
We're gonna pull the plug.
Mia's got to get her ass her nice ass to Long John Silver's, and
I don't get another one till after December 31st because I ate my one a year back to back. Like an idiot. I did one in December and then I did one like a week later in January. So now I can't get another one till next January.
all right, gang. Well, y'all be good, and we will see you next time. Make sure you like, share, subscribe, click that notification bell, and we will see you next time.